There we go. Do you remember how long it took them to win?
5 minutes and 29 seconds, I believe.
Very, very good. All we need on the side of ESTAR now is basically go for a Sylvanas comp, because I think Sylvanas is really crucial for those early pushes. And ideally a full shield, full HP Immortal. And then they pick up a couple of team members while defending, and then they snowball from there.
Bring a Sylvanas, should be good. Actually, I think it might be 5 minutes and 20 seconds. Chat will correct me the second I say numbers, and the second they catch up. But either way, we are loading in. So, ladies and gentlemen, first ban going over to Wukong Gaming.
If they ban the Sylvanas here, you definitely know what their greatest fear is. No, the Genji obviously still a very scary foe to face. I don't mind the ban here whatsoever. Now, ESTAR, what are they going to go for? They go for the Malthael ban, because Malthael, it's probably one of his stronger battlegrounds, you know. The poison, the trait applies to those map objectives and ticks mercilessly. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's very scary. Like, it's not burst damage on the Immortal. It's like the Lunara effect. It will kill the Immortal eventually. It gives the enemy team actually a little bit more time to catch up. But like you said, the damage output is crazy. The time it takes is a little slow.
Exactly, but that of course allows Malthael to also play a little bit safer, right? Because you can basically apply the poison, fall back a little bit just in case the enemy team is rotating accordingly already. And when he realizes it's safe, he just attacks again and gets immediate value. Whereas the burst damage, like Raven, they need to commit a little bit more. They need to stay close to Immortal, and when they fall back, it might already be too late. Now, the Anuprek has been locked in. That is Zero's most favorite hero. It's also a very forgiving warrior, because you have so many good tools, so many good abilities, and of course the Cocoon, that even a slight mistake might not punish you immediately.
So, if they want to go for a race composition here, which looks slightly less likely now, I was going to say you preferably want a support who can sustain for a while. Ariel is very popular in these compositions, so that you don't have to go back for mana. You just trust your team to gain energy for you and you play it off that. Instead, looks like ESTAR, they want to go for a full team fighting comp. They're not going for any kind of race so far. They still could. The Alarak gives them a great opportunity to burst, which is how you end games, by picking off an individual hero or two every now and again. But right now, this looks a little bit more standard out of ESTAR.
Yeah, and you see the 58% win rate here by Alarak. And ESTAR, guess what? They have greatly contributed to making Alarak such a dominant force. Because, yeah, especially on this map, we remember the first play day against CE. It was literally Alarak who made all the difference, pushing people into the stun zones, isolating them, and getting those beautiful multi-combos. Just very, very solid, especially by ESTAR.
I think out of like the last 6 games that ESTAR have played, like 3 or 4 of them have been Ooze on Alarak.
Yep, Ooze is definitely the man to play those heroes. Man, Ooze, we oftentimes forget about him, right? We always talk about good and, you know, China #1 becoming such a good support player, but Ooze
passed our attention.
Yeah, he's always there when his team needs him. You play him, you put him on the really hard heroes to execute sometimes. Like Alarak, I would say mechanically is one of the hardest heroes to master, because you always need to know the range of your abilities, when to use them, who to use them on. And even the Colossus Smash variant, it might sound ridiculous, but Colossus Smash variant is actually hard to execute, because you need to find a good balance between going in and waiting a little bit until you go in.
Interesting that we see ESTAR banning the Greymane. That would have been a lovely pick for them to come in. You get the telekinesis into the Cursed Bullet. That would have been nice. And there is that Ariel ban preventing the double support comp.
Yeah, very nice, because that's where ESTAR feels most comfortable on. When they have Uther plus Oriel, that is when they shine every single time. You may argue, though, that with the Alarak being locked in, they wouldn't have wanted to go for that double support in the first place, because you normally don't see that a lot together. But it's ESTAR, so better be safe than sorry. I can't really fault that move.
Yeah, they have in fact run that comp with a double support Vala with a Alarak and a 6.
Okay, there we go.
They've done it before, so it's not too out of the ordinary for them.
Yeah, definitely not. The Li Ming, though, is a really nice steal, because that could have definitely been a hero for ESTAR to pick on. Not only does she have great synergy with Alarak, because burst, 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 but also the Disintegrate against the Cocoon would have been a really nice emergency exit for any target who gets trapped.
Indeed it would have. There's a Tyrael and a Tassadar, so they're opening up for a double support comp. It's a question of who it is Cassia and Valor are both still open. So Wukong, they could only steal one if they wanted to, and it would be with a single support.
Exactly. I don't think we're going to see a double support here because of Li Ming. She's not the traditional hyper carry. Tassador's rune rate, by the way, man, Protoss feels good to be a Protoss unless your name is Zeratul, because he so far is the only Protoss hero that has an abysmal win rate. Tassador and Elrek doing much better.
And Artanis.
And Artanis, yeah.
Yeah, and also I forgot, Lunara also fits into ESTAR's comp as the last one. So Lunara, Valor, and Katia fit in as the last pick there.
Now, who did they put in the solo lane? Probably Dahaka. He seems to be a good choice. He can definitely hold his own, thanks to his strong self-sustain against the permanent harass coming in from Elrek, because that's what he likes to do with the laser pew-pew. Now, they're taking a long time here. Lunara, as you said, might be a good option. Sorry. Whoa! That is a bold move, Tetcher.
It is. They want to fight from as far away as possible. And now, if the ESTAR had wanted to go for a Cassia, it becomes a little bit more of a pain, because, yeah, the blind would be really good, but Hammer's going to be really far away, and also it's not going to have a huge amount of effect on the Li Ming, so a little bit more of a tough decision now. They instead go for the Tracer. Hammer, 1-5 currently in HGC China. Tracer, I believe, is 1-0.
I would agree. I think we celebrated a little bit the last time we saw her being used by SBT, if my memory doesn't cheat on me. However, the Tracer is such a small response to the Sergeant Hammer, because there's barely any other hero that can dash in as swiftly to drop that pulse bomb on her, and even the healing from Morales might oftentimes not be enough to heal all that burst damage. Keep in mind that also Tracer is extremely good on Battlefield of Eternity, as she has really solid single target damage and lots of space to move.
Yeah, Morales, though, does also have a basically auto armor that she can give to an ally. You can won't protect against the percentage damage, but the bomb still does do a big chunk of additional damage. So dropping that safeguard onto someone will help them stay a little bit more alive.
Tetcher, do you think the Sergeant Hammer plus Morales is strong enough? Can they apply so much pressure in the 4-man lane that maybe Wukong Gaming will have a better shot at this game?
It's a great combo. The problem is, I think one of them will just get focused.
True.
The amount of sustained Divine Shields, Tassadar Shields, the armor, the material onto Tracer. They have some damage to deal with it, but one of those damages is Li Ming, and Li Ming is not very good at locking down damage onto Tracer.
No, I would agree. But maybe that's the kind of Hail Mary swing they need in order to stabilize and come back. We're going to find out very soon, ladies and gentlemen, on Battlefield of Eternity. Can Wukong cause that massive upset against ESTAR? We're going to find out in a bit.
So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Battlefield of Eternity. First time we've seen it today. And ladies and gentlemen, sporting on the left-hand side is ESTAR, with Soap not to be playing the Tyrael, China number 1, aka Tau on Uther, Good on Tracer, Kid on Tassadar, and Ooze on the Alarak.
And their opponents, the underdogs coming into this series, Wukong Gaming with Ailing on the Li Ming, Lao Hu and Sergeant Hammer, Zero on his Anubrek, Mood on the Morales, and Lang, the substitute, pulling off really, really good results here so far in his individual scale. It is on the Dahaka. There we go. Wukong Gaming against ESTAR. 1-0 lead, only one more victory for ESTAR to take those juicy 3 points and to basically race right after SBT and CE, who both won their matches earlier.
And first blood.
Morales?
Tracer chasing all the way in. Actually, yeah, the Morales healing, able to out-damage Tracer. And a noob able to survive that first blood attempt.
Mama Morales taking care of all of her children. I always see her as a kindergarten teacher sometimes, because everyone is crying for a medic, everyone is crying for the healing. Even if you're not Genji, you always want to get those juicy green beans.
Tracer hit me.
Help me, mommy. I don't want to play with that girl anymore.
She's mean. She really is mean. Doing some damage, punching Sergeant Hammer in the face. But Morales able to keep everyone nice and healthy.
All right. Looking good for now. No casualties for Wukong Gaming. You see a massive focus on that 4-man lane. The Leeming damage comes in. Double support is pretty good though. Laohu, you want to be careful with that siege mode. I know Grubby has a very special relationship with Sergeant Hammers who siege up all the time, but for now, with the Morales behind her, it looks okay.
Yeah, and there's not a huge amount of poke damage that can actually punish this. Like, yeah, you can throw out a storm or something.
Look at that, 2 people teleporting back.
Yeah, they're teleporting back. They're getting harassed. There's hammer damage right now. This is the thing. This is similar to one of the earlier games. Until all that invulnerable is available for ESTAR, then Hammer basically has free reign because they can't dive her. They get punished too hard, and Morales keeps her too healthy, and Li Ming is poking them at the same time. They're getting too much damage on them. Although Hammer, the front line abandoned her a little bit, and as such forced to unsiege. But she needed to anyway, because she wasn't in range to actually drop damage onto the second tower here. Instead, looks like they're rotating to prepare for the objective.
Yeah, the combat shield has been deployed here, providing 25 armor on the designated target. That's exactly what you need to drop. The moment Tracer dives in, the moment the pulse bomb goes down, you want to have that protection ready. So, 25 damage extra taken or not is actually a big deal, especially against those spiky burst damage dealers like Tracer. Now Laohu, he's slowly but surely moving, driving, cruising towards that top immortal. That of course gives green light to ESTAR. They already have a pretty nice lead. They're wasting a lot of time focusing on Uberak though.
They really are, but a noob is going to go down. That is going to be a big old chunk of XP going over to ESTAR, which they're now going to try and use it to make a 4v5 in their favor to try and take down Morales. But Morales was able to pull back. Hammer getting 2 heals up for them to take her down. Eva, and as such, they abandoned the immortal for everyone except Alarak, who was trying to burn it down. Also, Hammer, ambitious with her talent, taking the regen master. This is not a globe-friendly map. This is a risky choice by Hammer. No doubt about that. Ailing takes some damage, able to pull back. Ailing on Li Ming actually makes me quite happy, just due to name synergy. Zero. Only able to escape because Good actually teleported past, but still burned a burrow anyway, so that might be a waste, and Dahaka shall fall.
Yeah, I think Lang was actually on the move to help his buddies in need in the top lane. So ESTAR intercepted him and actually read his movements very nicely, and as such, even the hard-to-get, the slippery Dahaka gets taken out. You brought up a very good point. You should only take regeneration talents or regeneration globe talents on this map when you're 100% confident in winning the immortal race, because when you get them, they drop 2 extra globes. But I really don't like the talent either.
They are winning now. Like, I would also argue that resistance, resilience, whatever that talent is called that he, Sergeant Hammer has, would also not be a good move. The correct move, in my opinion, would be the advanced artillery for the extra damage, or the ambush for the burst. And burst is what they're kind of going for here.
Uh-oh. Ailing just met Tracer in a dark alley, and if you're Li Ming, you don't want to meet that feisty little girl. And looks like ESTAR brings home the first immortal after all, because all Ooze was doing on that alley was punching it with his warp blades. Now, super good start for ESTAR, though not as convincing as I would have thought. And I think we can already say that this is not going to be a new HGC record, because that immortal is not nearly as powerful as they wanted it to be.
Just under a minute to beat the last HGC record. Sorry, to beat the world record, and then a minute and 20-ish, a minute and 10 now to beat the HGC record, and a minute to go from now. So, Wukong Gaming poking it down. Sergeant Hammer remaining unsieged for the moment, just microing in, not getting a huge amount of bonus damage. Has focused attacks, so it's just trying to poke down anything, whether it's heroes who step into range where you can get the focus attacks value, or the immortal as it steps further forward.
And I love it. I love that Laohu plays Sergeant Hammer like a normal, traditional ranged assassin right now, like a Rainer more, rather than this stationary sieging machine. Because if you do that, while the immortal pushes in, one stun zone, and you might not react fast enough, and you're going to get stunned, and that could actually be the initiation process for ESTAR to follow up with a burst damage and take you out in a split second. Now, who plays a little bit more safely now? So far, he seems to know when to siege up and when to roll in tank mode. See, ESTAR, they're looking a little bit helpless right now. They don't have the lockdown to really get those early game kills, it seems. But hold a minute, cast a curse.
Morales, the poor reaction from Morales, and as such, Hammer takes a huge amount of damage. They are in full retreat. Morales is going to be able to heal her back up, but the slight misplay, and a noob not able to get onto the point.
Ooh, and Dahaka also coming in here. That was not the best of communication here. The team should have informed him. Dahaka, don't. It's over already. Don't burrow here. Hold the top lane. Otherwise, you're going to give free mercenary value to Alrek, who's already trying his best to take those out. So, a little bit of a wrong call here on the side of Dahaka and the rest of his allies. Now, I do want to say, though, that the Morales focus hasn't really been there yet. Morales actually living throughout all those team fights, and she's the pillar, she's the backbone that keeps everyone alive so far.
Yeah, Morales has yet to be focused. That's not a bad thing. If you can burn Morales' mana, then that's also just as effective. And also if you can deposition it, like we saw there, Morales was out of position and therefore not able to heal onto the Sergeant Hammer. Sergeant Hammer very nearly dropped. But it does take this kind of game knowledge and this kind of focus. Goodbye. No Morales, no anything else here to help you.
Quite literally a goodbye. See what I did there?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did.
Oh, Tetra, you didn't even realize your own pun. That is next level. When you do it without actively knowing about it, then you have mastered the pun.
I am with puns now. They actually happen when I don't intend them to. Oh dear.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, the XP count seems to crystallize a little bit more in favor of ESTAR. They're now ahead one entire level. They're going to be the ones to get their heroic abilities first. They're the ones taking all the advantages when it comes to damaging the enemy immortal. So, yeah, this is looking mighty good for them. Now, they have two ways to play this now. They can send someone to the side lanes and soak level 10, or they can commit 5 people to finish it off, because 50% with a Tracer, that is hard to lock down. That should not really be the biggest of issues. Keep in mind though, once Wukong Gaming obtains the level 10 material, they will have more tools to really deal with the Tracer. They can pop the cocoon on her, they can use it on one of the supports to really focus it down in time. There's many things to do at level 10. In Wukong Gaming, they're getting a little bit cheeky now, and they should. They can never race for 10, so they should really try to get it now, or pull back entirely.
Alarak was moving in, looking for the telekinesis, but we did see Laohu. Quick reactions this time, unsieging, pulling back, making sure he did get telekinesis in. Alarak heads back to top lane.
Did we see
that? Kind of lived here all game.
Did we see a halftime show already, or is it slightly above 50% on the side of Wukong?
Just above 50%.
Okay.
Yeah, Tracer. Get it?
Get it?
No, it's below 50%. That was the halftime show. So yeah, the Immortal burning it down here as ESTAR moving in to grab it with those level 10s, and that is easy enough to force Wukong Gaming back. And ESTAR, they are annoyed at this Hammer and this Morales. It is a judgment coming in from Tyrael.
Oh yeah, they want to lock down the Terran neighborhood here, because they definitely do not like this passive playstyle, just poking from afar, dropping those annoying green healing beams on them, and maybe a stim drone later on. We're going to see what Morales, of course, comes up with at level 10, but I would strongly assume it is going to be a stim drone, because let's face it, Medevac doesn't really get the hugest amounts of value on smaller battlegrounds. So, the major Punisher, excuse me, the major Immortal is pushing in. Good combo by Elric, but the protection is there, and a lot of damage in return. Woo.
Good, very nearly falling, taking all of the combo from Sergeant, all of the damage from Sergeant Hammer, who is now in a much better position to burn it down. But look at that leeching plasma healing Tracer already back to full.
Yeah, that is exactly why the combination of Tassadar and Tracer is so good. Probably even better than many other assassins. Okay, nice burrow charge. The counter-strike not landing, but the combo was good, forcing out the disengage here by Wukong Gaming. But they're back to full health. Morales is pretty good at that. All their rigs on. What? Medivac? What? Okay, maybe as an escape.
Yeah. It's a slow-moving ice block. When you get engaged, you get judgments, you immediately pop it. In theory, it can help you not get hit by the Tracer bomb, and you might be able to get out of that kind of danger a little bit better.
Fair enough. As an escape mechanism, it is actually worth it to take, especially when you see a judgment on the enemy team's side, a Tracer that might charge in as well, and of course the force wall, which would otherwise block your retreat paths anyways. So, okay, I take my words back. I think it's okay.
Yeah, should be able to help out quite nicely here. Drag onto Alarak, drops a good Discord strike, and Morales is gone. You can't medevac if you're silenced. With Uther. Uther popped out the cocoon, immediately drops the Divine Shield onto Alarak. Alarak, well done there, doing the correct move by freeing Uther. He saved himself, as now they focus on to Zero. Force wall down, is Burrow Charge available? Not yet, but there's no more slows. And now it is Hammer who is the one in danger. Oh no. Hammer runs, speed boost, gets hit by the bomb. Still alive. Keep going. Run away. Can they escape? Need to juke
Push
somehow.
the pedal to the metal and keep on running.
Need to juke. Hyphen vision. Oh no, Oracle. There's the damage, and Hammer finally goes down.
Well, at this point, you may as well be like, okay, at least I bought my team a couple of seconds to soak in the bottom. Dehaka, for example, has been pushing a little bit, and Hammer's sacrifice, Hammer's flight here, might actually have been enough to secure themselves another mercenary camp at the bottom if Dehaka would actually go for it. But no, he's indecisive. He doesn't know what to do. He gets back to lane, he goes back to the mercenary camp, only to waste precious time here. Now, let's see. No, he doesn't even do it. He's too afraid, but rightfully so, because he probably doesn't have vision at all on the enemy team, so he might as well be like, okay, if I start now, I'm probably going to get jumped on from multiple angles, and now just going to have to wait for reinforcements.
Yes, they are. Alarak needs to be very careful about where he's standing. Dehaka can turn stuff around like this very quickly if his team were to rotate to nearby.
Yeah.
But we do see Alarak move it up to his own Immortal. He wants to try and see if we can telekinesis people into those Immortal stuns to drop some damage. But right now, it's a little bit of a race. And the race is actually being still won by ESTAR, but Wukong dropping some good counter damage, at least for a start.
Yeah. And that's the danger. That's the power of Force Wall. Once you lock someone down, even if it's the warrior like a Nubrak, you force out those escape mechanisms. You force out those bird charges or the Liming teleport. It's such a feisty little ability because oftentimes trading those escape mechanisms is exactly what you want. So Tracer then knows, okay, doesn't have the escape ability ready. I'm going to go fully commit and try to take out that target. Now, good damage on the side of Wukong Gaming, though. This next Punisher, excuse me, Immortal, I keep mixing those two up, is not going to be nearly as deadly as the previous ones.
Indeed, shield gets dropped down quite a bit. Nicely done by Wukong Gaming, at least this time. And as we say, every game they look a little bit stronger, but they're still a level behind, still don't have their level 13s yet.
Exactly. That's going to be a big disadvantage in the next fight. However, they're right around the corner here. Dehaka, hard to kill, but takes the... Okay.
Oh,
good reflex here.
If there were towers here like Praxis, and that would have been devastating, but this is not Praxis. This is Battlefield. Speaking of Battlefield, there's a war against that bottom fort, and the bottom fort will lose.
There we go. There's no way to save it, guys. When there is an objective that can't be saved, don't even try. Instead, retreat a little bit further, buy more time to get that 13. Actually, like what Dehaka's doing in the top lane. He, of course, has that brush stroke. Keep in mind, though, that on Battlefield, there's not a whole lot of brushes to brush stroke on. And that's the combo we were looking for. Bye-bye, Sergeant Hammer, right into the stun zone. Beautiful play, and that's why you don't want to give Ooze that Alrek. Holy schmoly.
Yeah, and that's why Alarak is so good on this map. He doesn't give as much Immortal race, but oh my god, does he give you control. Discord Strike, Judgment, bye-bye Beetle. And that's going to be the keep and potentially the core as the Immortal's still just under half health. I'm
not sure if Dehaka didn't get the memo or if he's just done or if he's still salty that his team didn't help him earlier on, but he's like, okay guys, you didn't help me earlier in that game 1 when everybody abandoned me. I'm not gonna help you either. But as we said, there's only so many brushes you can teleport to or brush stock to, so you definitely want to be faster in reaction time than compared to other maps. But the Immortal has been destroyed, but that is not going to be enough anyway. Yeah, aww. No. Alright, well, GG, ESTAR takes this game, easy peasy, but let's be honest, that was the expected outcome anyway, because Wukong Gaming simply isn't on the same page, isn't on the same level as all the other teams in the Chinese HGC. Still, they kept trying, and I gotta say, they made this Morales Sergeant Hammer comp look better than I originally thought it would look.
Yeah. I honestly agree. It's a good comp for starters, but the real shout out here is definitely to Wukong Gaming as a whole. They are growing, and this is great for the Chinese scene, because right now, they just sort of seem like a free win to all the teams. And I will still say that they're going to struggle to take games off people, but they look stronger and stronger and stronger each game. They are very reminiscent of Soa from last season.
Yeah, Soa or Kiss, and while Kiss remained at the bottom of the table, Soa, they were able to evolve into that really, really good team that is now actually a serious threat for most other teams in the Chinese HGC to overcome. But for now, ESTAR continues the trend here. They continue their journey on the way to maybe place first or second and secure themselves a guaranteed spot at the Eastern Clash, which is going to take place in a couple of weeks from now. I don't think we know the exact date just yet, but
yeah, it's about 5 to 4 to 3 weeks, something. It's more than a week away. I know that much.
It's definitely,
or I can say that much.
Going to take place in August, I believe, because I think HGC China stops in the last week of July. So maybe the first or second week of August, we're going to know more about the Asian scenes here in general.
We don't actually know anything about the Eastern Clash. We assume it's going to be very similar to the first Eastern Clash. But in terms of casting stuff, we actually don't know anything about it yet.
What I would love to see for the Eastern Clash is that it would be, or if it would be broadcasted from the esports arena in Taiwan that Blizzard has been open or releasing lately. And I would love to see what the venue looks like. I would love to see what Blizzard made.
I would hope they do it live. Just have us, Wolf, G, Clef, J How, I would say would be great to have out there due to his SEA casting.
Oh, you know what? That is a wet dream come true. Let's see if they're going to make it happen.
We can hope.
Wait. Did he just sing I'm MVP and you guys can't touch me?
Something like that. I don't know. I didn't hear exactly what he said. Either way, good. Once again, proving his dominance, able to take the game able to take yet another game and show another solid Tracer play by China. China, well and truly on Tracer these days.